by popular demand, here is a My Froggy Stuff mashup to help our new Fabsome besties find some of our classic videos. It's November. The holidays are right around the corner, and we want to help your dolls plan the ultimate feast. From the main course to the dining room table, we've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I am going to make a roasted turkey for a doll using salt dough. I will also use a small Altoid tin and a toothpick for a 12-inch doll or smaller, or a standard Altoid container and 2 small pieces of cut wooden dowel for an 18-inch doll. I am going to use a 1/4 measuring cup for 2 parts flour, 1 part salt, and 1 part water. Mix well. When my dough has the consistency of Play-Doh, I remove the lid from my Altoids container. Now I'm going to use the lid of this Altoids container as my baking pan. So I'm going to put that aside and just keep it in mind as I'm making my bird, because I want to make sure that it fits inside. So I'm going to take a lump of dough that's about big enough to be the body of my bird. Then I'm going to want 2 for the legs, and then 2 small ones for the arms or wings. I'm gonna roll and shape the body so that it looks like the body of a turkey. It's gonna be a little wider on the bottom, a little thinner at top, kind of like an egg shape. Then make a little indentation up here for the neck, and kind of want a little bit of a point going down the center. All right, I'm also gonna use a toothpick to try to hollow out the inside a little bit, just so that it'll heat evenly and bake faster. It won't leave a big gooey spot in the center. Now for the legs, I just roll my dough, and I take a little piece of a wooden dowel here. I'm going to push that in there, and that's the bone for my legs. So now I just move the dough around it until it makes what looks like to me to be like a drumstick. When making this for a smaller doll, like a 12-inch, I use a toothpick for the bone. And I'm going to just press that onto the side here. Now with salt dough, you want to kind of try to move fairly quickly because it will start to dry out on you, and then you'll get cracks. When you're making bread, that's okay, but when you're making a turkey, you don't really want too many cracks in it. So for the wings, I'm going to roll into a ball, and then I'm going to kind of make it into a tube that's a little wider on one end than the other. Then I'm going to pinch it just to make a fold in the arm. Alright, and then just apply that to the side. It's nice and sticky, so it should stick good. After baking in the oven at 275 for about 45 minutes, I place it onto the Altoids lid. Keep in mind that baking times may vary, and please allow it to cool before handling. I paint it with craft paint. I take a little bit of paint from a warmer color, and I swish my brush around until it's almost dry. And then I lightly brush it on, just to give it the appearance that my turkey has been baked. I brush on a layer of clear fingernail polish, or Mod Podge. To make my stuffing, I add poultry seasoning to my salt dough. I add a little parsley for some texture. I break it up into small pieces over my cookie sheet. I pour some glue into the bottom of the Altoids container, pour in the baked pieces of salt dough, cover it with another layer of glue, mix it up, and allow it to dry. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
It is time to get our cafeteria ready for Thanksgiving, so I am going to make a Thanksgiving school lunch. Using printables from our blog, recycled paperboard, cardstock, washable markers, acrylic paint, cornstarch, baking soda, water, craft foam, seasonings, chalk pastels, and glue. First, let's make the trays from our doll lunchroom video using recycled paperboard. Cut and glue 2 rectangles together. Glue a thin strip of paperboard around the edge to make a tray. Use strips of paperboard to divide the inside to make a lunch tray. Paint them to finish the trays. Now, let's make the food. I start by making cornstarch dough. Using 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of water, stir, adding water if needed. Microwave for 20 seconds, then mix until cooled. Knead until it is the consistency of Play-Doh. Pull off a small amount, roll it into a ball, then press the bottom onto a flat surface. Push in the sides to square it just a little. Use a small piece of foil to add texture to the sides. Make several to fill a tray. Remove the tray and allow them to air dry or bake in the oven at 175 until completely dried out. Once they've cooled, lightly brush the top with chalk pastels. I'm using a golden yellow, followed by a touch of brown. Then lightly brush with glue to seal it. To make a tray of rolls, divide the remaining dough, cover a tray with foil, place the dough on top, sculpting to make a tray of mashed potatoes. Make a few individual servings and allow them to dry. Repeat to make stuffing, only this time I add in a few spices, like coriander to turn it brown, add a little parsley, and oregano. Place it on the tray using a popsicle stick to add texture. Make individual portions, then allow it to dry. Glue together a few layers of green cardstock, cut it into small pieces, glue them onto a rectangle of cardstock, then allow it to dry to make a tray of green beans. Cut craft foam into small pieces. On a plastic surface, color with a washable marker, mix in some glue and a little cinnamon. Mix in the craft foam, put plastic over a tray, then add some of the mixture and allow it to dry to make candied yams. Cut out the printables from our blog, glue the 2 sides of the turkey onto cardstock, cut them out, adding more layers to make the slices thicker. Then glue them together, overlapping. Mix a small drop of paint with glue, apply some of the glue on top, allow it to dry to make turkey with gravy. Make several to place on a tray. To complete the meal, place them on the lunch line, filling the trays with the individual portions, so the dolls can enjoy a special lunch. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Here is a last-minute turkey idea. I'm going to take a tin and remove the lid. Add a ball of aluminum foil. I cover it with a sheet of aluminum foil. Tuck in all the edges. And now it looks as if your doll just pulled her turkey out of the oven.
Happy crafting!
I am going to make a table and chair set for a doll using thin cardboard from a cereal box, popsicle sticks, a nail file, skinny sticks, cardboard, craft paint, recycled computer paper, fabric, and glue. I start by cutting open a cereal box. I cut a shape for the top of the table, use it as a pattern to trace more, cut them out, begin gluing the layers together, sand the edges smooth, flip it over to the back side, then glue on skinny sticks or popsicle sticks to make a frame. Roll a piece of computer paper into a paper tube, cut the tubes for the desired height of the table, carefully fill them with glue, glue the tubes into the corners of the frame, glue on leftover pieces of the skinny sticks to hold them in place. Paint it and allow it to dry. Cut long strips of cardboard, glue 2 strips together, sketch out a seat on a piece of cardboard, cut it out. I cut thinner strips that can fit inside the larger one, a long one for the back and a short one for the front. Roll more paper tubes and fill them with glue. Cover the thin strips and the seats with fabric. Paint the wider cardboard, popsicle sticks, and paper tubes. Once dry, cut and glue the popsicle sticks under the seat to frame it. Take the wide painted rectangle, glue the long, thin, upholstered one on one side, flip it over, then glue the short one at the top of the other side. Glue on the seat, then glue 2 of the paper tubes underneath. Bend the back slightly, touch up the paint, repeat to make more chairs, and you're done.
Happy crafting!
I am going to make an oven mitt for a doll using felt, fabric, thin cardboard or cardstock, and a pencil, a needle and thread, or a sewing machine. I start by tracing my doll's hand onto a piece of cardstock, making sure to give it a generous outline. I cut my pattern out. I cut squares of material around my pattern, 2 out of a printed fabric and 2 more out of felt. I lay my fabric on top of the felt with the good side facing down and stitch a straight line across the bottom. If you choose, this can be sewn by hand. Flip them so that the good side is facing out. You can take it a step further by doing a crisscross pattern, stack them good side to good side, and pin in place. I place the pattern on top and trace around it. I sew right on the inside of the line drawn, trim off the excess, turn it right side out. I use a chopstick to get into some of the smaller areas. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Thank you for joining us for this My Froggy Stuff mashup. Let us know what mashups you would like to see in the comments down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Blog, and we will see you next time. Bye!